Hi. So today we're going to talk about interracial marriage from the perspective of African parents. Um, there's been this expression that it is normally not spoken about, but it's usually expressed by most African parents. Um, they usually they don't favor interracial marriage, and there's this question that is brought in the heart about whether interracial marriage is un-African. Um, well, I can see some arguments right here, which you know puts which makes it which counterbalances things. I can say that when an African person marries, let's say, a European, and gets that a question comes on whether that European is going to agree to move to come to the home of the African and adopt the African culture, or whether the European would want instead the African to abandon all African relatives and stuff and stay with them forever in Europe. That is something that worries African parents when they take their kids to the West, for a better kind of life and more opportunity. They then worry that those people that provide that opportunity might actually grab their kids and keep them in stock over there. Um, so I just want to say this thing that um, most people who do intermarriages don't actually do that just for the for looks and just to be, oh my god, I'm doing interracial marriage, or oh my god, I'm going to impress people, I can do interracial marriages. No. uh, I think most people who do these marriages, they actually love each other. Most couples, they love each other beyond, they look beyond the color, they look beyond the color and race, they look beyond all those cultural backgrounds. They just focus on each other, and that is kind of a taboo in most African cultures. Given an excuse that you fell in love with someone, that makes you look like an idiot or a prodigal, or something that is un-African, as they say. So I don't know. It is kind of discouraging to most people, because when someone finds a love of their life and then realize that their family is not accepting of that kind of love affair, of that kind of love, that person might end up getting stressed out and waiting, or you know if it's someone who always likes to impress parents and relatives, the person might actually end up marrying a wrong individual, and guess what will happen? There will be broken family. It will be a lot of broken family, and uh, it will never stand strong. And he will keep wishing that he would have married the other person before. So I think parents should consider um, that their kids are also humans, and parents should ask themselves um, these two things: will the marriage cause chaos, or is it a smart idea? So take for instance, there's a goofy kind of interracial marriage. For example, when an African marries someone who is not educated and who does not have a secure job, and who does not know culture, does not cannot cook, let's say an African man marries someone who cannot cook and cannot do anything. So that is outrageous, and regardless the race, it's really outrageous to the family of the African, and I don't think, and that is a good reason to raise voices. But when an African marries a non-African who is also successful, who is very successful, it is very clear that chances are the person is not loving that African just for their money, because the person also has their own money, and the person has a secure job and can do basic things that is family oriented. Then there is no reason to abstract that marriage, and there's no reason to disagree and be like, "Whoa, that is un-African. Whoa, you can't do this." There are so many good women in our villages in Africa, and in our towns and cities. I don't know. African parents need, they usually need really good counseling, and not counseling from the West, because it should look like a setup. It should be counseling within the African Union, in the African land. People should be counseled that being, doing some interracial marriage is not actually horrendous, and it's not destructive, but it can be destructive depending on the kind of marriage. Like I've said earlier, if it's a goofy kind of marriage where the person from the other race is it smokes a lot, does a lot of party, does all those things, does not adhere to community standards, and always likes to offend people, offend the community, and is very, very unpredictable. That kind of marriage is really prodigal, and anybody involved in that kind of marriage, any African involved in that kind of marriage, can safely be called a prodigal and lost. And what the family should do is find a way to get that person back into their normal state, into their normal status. All right, not by trying to look for a way to eliminate the person or eliminate the associations. Anyways, I think I've spoken a lot on this. This might make sense, it might not make sense. There might be some pieces of it that make sense a little bit. Just pick the ones that you think will help you and live by them. I hope that I'm bringing positive lights to people who need them. Not people who want them, but those who need them. I'll be making lots of videos concerning concerning Africa, the renovation and integration of Africa into one supercontinent. This is the only way we can reclaim what has been taken away. This is the only way Africans can reclaim what has been taken away from them. All right, or rebuild or build stuff if they feel. Some people say nothing has been reclaimed from Africa, then Africa can build stuff. But for those who believe there's something that has been taken away from Africa, those people can also help in rebuilding those things. All right, thank you very much for watching this, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself, and I forgot to say who I am. This is what's the name again? Africanoid TV. Thanks for watching the Africanoid show. Bye bye.